Have you ever wondered what makes men like Cristiano Ronaldo or great leaders so successful? It's not just talent or luck, it's the power of habits. While most people keep repeating mistakes, these guys build routines that take them straight to the top. Now let me ask you, what about you? Are your habits taking you where you want to go, or are they keeping you exactly where you are? If you're tired of feeling stuck and really want to change, stick with me. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 practical steps to transform your habits and your life. It's time to stop making excuses and start taking action. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. That way you won't miss any content that will help you transform your life. And of course, leave a like on this video to show that you're committed to change. Let's get to the 7 steps. Identify the habit you want to change. The first step to changing anything in your life is simple but powerful. You need to clearly identify which habit is holding you back. Sounds obvious, right? But most people never stop to think about it. They go through life on autopilot, complaining about how things aren't working out without realizing that many times it's their daily habits that are sabotaging their own success. For example, Elon Musk, founder of Tesla and SpaceX, has said in interviews that early in his career, he had the habit of spending too much time in unproductive meetings. He realized that this habit was consuming his day without producing results. So he made a change. He started prioritizing short meetings with a clear objective, or eliminating them completely. This simple adjustment gave him more time to focus on what really mattered, and the results of that are evident today. Now, think about this. Imagine you're trying to improve your financial life, but you always end up at the end of the month with no money. You might blame your low salary or high prices, but have you ever looked closely at your habits? Do you have the habit of spending on unnecessary things like that $10 coffee every day, or subscriptions you don't even use? Small actions like these add up and can be the real villains. Another example, maybe you want to improve your health, but you notice that you never have the energy or motivation. Are you staying up late, scrolling through your phone until the early hours? Or perhaps you're skipping meals and eating whatever is convenient. Identifying the wrong habit is the first step in creating real change. So, how do you identify the habit you want to change? Start by analyzing your routine. Grab a notebook or even the Notes app on your phone and write down everything you do throughout the day. Everything, from the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed. It might seem like a lot of work, but it's essential, because often bad habits are so deeply rooted that we don't even realize they exist. For example, Michael Jordan, at the beginning of his career in the NBA, identified that his habit of relying solely on natural talent was limiting his performance. He decided to change. He began to train obsessively, refining every aspect of his game, even those he was already good at. This change in habit is what transformed him into the greatest basketball player in history. According to studies published in the European Journal of Social Psychology, it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit or replace an old one. This means that by identifying what's holding you back, you're already on the path to change, but it requires persistence and consistency. After mapping your routine, look at the results each habit is bringing to your life. Ask yourself, is this habit helping me grow or preventing me from getting where I want? If the habit is bringing you closer to your goals, it's a positive one. But if it's taking you farther away, that's where you need to focus. To finish this first step, I want you to do a simple yet powerful exercise. Today, take 5 minutes and write down 3 things you do in your daily life that might be holding you back. Don't overthink it. Just write down the first habits that come to your mind. Then, next to each one, note which goal this habit is moving you away from. For example, staying on my phone before bed moves me away from having energy the next day. Buying takeout every day moves me away from saving money. Procrastinating at work moves me away from growing professionally. By doing this, you'll be one step closer to taking control of your life. 2. Understand the trigger of the habit. Now that you know the habit you want to change, let's get to the root of the problem, the trigger. The trigger is what sets off the automatic action. Without understanding this, there's no point in trying to change the behavior, because the trigger will continue activating the unwanted habit. Behavioral psychology, in the book The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, explains that all habits follow a cycle: the trigger, the routine, and the reward. The trigger is the key to breaking this cycle. A study from the University of Southern California found that 80% of people act on autopilot, without realizing the triggers controlling their actions. So understanding what activates your behavior is the first step toward change. Will Smith, the famous actor, shared how for years he procrastinated due to the fear of failure. His trigger was the fear of failure, and he started acting as soon as he realized this. He understood that instead of freezing up, he should take action quickly. This completely changed the way he dealt with his projects and challenges. For example, Steve Jobs had a trigger related to perfectionism. He felt pressured to control everything, which led to exhaustion. But over time, he identified this trigger and began delegating more. This allowed him to focus on the innovations that transformed Apple into one of the most valuable companies in the world. To understand your own trigger, observe your automatic reactions. For example, if stress causes you to eat uncontrollably, that's an emotional trigger. The key is to notice when the trigger occurs and what emotion or situation activates it. This way, you can start changing your response. Now that you know how to identify your trigger, the next step is to learn how to replace it with something positive. This will break the cycle of the bad habit. In the next step, I'll show you how to do this practically. Replace the bad habit with a new one now that you understand your trigger. It's time to take action. It's time to replace the bad habit with a new positive behavior. But hold on, we're not talking about trying to eliminate the habit all at once. Habit change is a process, and the key is replacement. According to a study from University College London, it takes an average of 66 days for a new habit to be fully consolidated. In other words, it's not an overnight change. Science says that by replacing the bad behavior with a positive one, you begin to reprogram your brain, creating new neural connections. And the best part, you can use the power of rewards to reinforce this new habit. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, talks about the concept of environment designability. He suggests that to replace a bad habit, you should make the new behavior easier to perform and more rewarding. For example, if you want to stop eating junk food, always have healthy snacks within reach. Making the new habit more convenient is key to making it stick. LeBron James, one of the greatest athletes of all time, has a daily habit of intense training and disciplined eating. He knows that to maintain his level of excellence, he needs to replace any habit that could compromise his performance. Instead of giving in to the temptation to rest or eat poorly, he adopts habits that keep him at the top of his game. Let's think about Peter Parker, Spider-Man. When he takes on the responsibility of being a hero, he replaces his careless teenager habits with disciplined habits of a vigilante. He starts waking up early, training, studying, and being more responsible, all in pursuit of a greater goal. This is habit replacement in action. Replace a bad habit with a good one requires patience and consistency. Remember, you're not eliminating something, you're simply swapping it for something better. In the next step, we'll discuss how you can reinforce this new behavior so that it becomes a natural part of your life. 4. Make the new habit enjoyable. The next step in transforming your habits is to ensure that the new behavior is enjoyable. This is crucial for making the new habit not just happen, but become a natural part of your life. Neuroscience shows that the brain tends to repeat behaviors that generate pleasure or reward. A study conducted by Harvard Medical School revealed that the release of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of pleasure, occurs whenever you experience satisfaction. The more pleasure you feel when doing something, the more your brain will associate that behavior with a positive feeling, making it more likely to be repeated. Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, is a perfect example of how to make habits enjoyable. He has an extremely strict diet and training routine, but he doesn't see it as a sacrifice. For him, the pleasure comes from achieving results and success on the field. This makes him maintain these habits as part of his daily routine because he feels pleasure in the progress he's making. Cristiano Ronaldo, another sports icon, also created a training habit that he finds enjoyable. He knows that in order to stay at the top, he needs to dedicate himself every day. But the key here is that he doesn't view training as an obligation. For him, the feeling of getting closer to perfection is a reward in itself, and that keeps him motivated. Therefore, to make a new habit easier to maintain, you need to associate it with a positive reward, something that brings you pleasure and satisfaction. Increase motivation with rewards. Now that you've made the new habit more enjoyable, it's time to boost your motivation with rewards. Motivation is the fuel needed to sustain a habit over time. The more you feel rewarded for the new behavior, the easier it will be to maintain it. Behavioral psychology studies indicate that immediate rewards are crucial for strengthening a new habit. The University of California conducted research showing that quick, visible rewards activate brain areas related to pleasure, making the habit more gratifying. This reinforces the idea that immediate rewards are more effective than promises of big results in the future. Will Smith is a clear example of someone who uses rewards to maintain motivation. In his interviews, he talks about how he would reward himself after an intense workout or completing a big project, whether with a well-deserved rest or leisure moments. This practice of celebrating his victories, big or small, helped him stay focused on his goals. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, also applied the concept of rewards in his growth process. When he was starting out, he would celebrate small victories and important milestones, which helped him stay motivated even during tough times. The satisfaction of reaching each small goal propelled him to move forward and continue working toward the next one. Rocky Balboa, the iconic boxer from the movies, also used rewards as a form of motivation. After a tough training session, he would reward himself with a simple moment of rest or the support of his team, which made him feel that all the effort was worth it. This emotional reward helped him stay focused on the ultimate goal, which was the championship. Choose rewards that truly motivate you. If the goal is to train more, a reward could be watching a movie or series after the workout. Reward yourself immediately after the action. After completing a workout or task, reward yourself right away. For example, with some leisure time, small and achievable rewards. After studying or working for a few hours, reward yourself with 30 minutes of rest or something you enjoy like chocolate. Rewards don't have to be material. After reaching a goal, you can reward yourself with a pleasurable experience, like a walk in the park or a meditation session. Rewarding yourself is a powerful tool to maintain motivation. It's not about waiting for big results, but about celebrating the small progress along the way. 6. Increase your consistency with small wins. The key here is consistency, but how do you maintain consistency when the enthusiasm begins to fade? The answer lies in small wins. Behavioral psychology explains that small wins, immediate results, and small progress are essential to sustaining a habit. According to research from the University of Michigan, the feeling of progress, even if small, activates areas of the brain associated with motivation, which helps to maintain the habit. In other words, consistency comes when you feel that you're constantly moving forward. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the famous actor and bodybuilder, often talks about the importance of small wins on the way to a larger goal. He remembers that, in his journey to become Mr. Olympia, he didn't only focus on the final prize. He celebrated each progress, such as increasing the weight he lifted or his endurance, and these small victories motivated him to keep going. Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, also shares how he handles consistency in his massive projects. He doesn't expect quick results but focuses on small wins, like the successful launch of a rocket or the production of a new electric car model. These small victories are key to keeping him motivated, even amidst the larger challenges. The key to maintaining consistency is understanding that big changes don't happen overnight. Small wins are what keep your motivation alive. Create an environment that supports the new habit. We've reached the final step in transforming your habits, creating an environment that supports change. The environment you live and work in has a significant impact on the success or failure of your habits. It can be your greatest ally or your biggest enemy, depending on how you organize it. Environmental psychology research shows that the environment has a powerful effect on human behavior. A study from the University of Southern California indicated that the environment can influence more than 40% of a person's daily behavior. This means that if you want to change your habits, the first thing you need to do is adjust your surroundings. Steve Jobs is a perfect example of how the environment can shape success. He was known for creating minimalist workspaces with few distractions, allowing him and his team to focus on what really mattered. He knew that if the environment was optimized for creativity and productivity, people would perform better and results would follow. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, famous for his discipline and hard work, is also a great example of how the environment influences habits. He often shares his workout routines, always highlighting how the environment at the gym, featuring quality equipment and a full focus on training, is essential to his performance. He created an environment where physical effort feels natural, and this keeps him motivated to continue pushing himself. Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, is another clear example of how an environment can reinforce a habit. His mansion and Batcave are designed to support his activities as a hero. Every tool and every area of the cave has a specific purpose, and this structured environment allows him to train and prepare for the battles ahead. Practical strategies to improve your environment. Organize your space. First, organize the space where you work or study. A clean and organized environment helps keep the mind focused. Only have the essentials in view: your computer, your work materials, and what truly matters for the task at hand. Eliminate distractions. Disconnect from sources of distraction. If you work from home, put your phone on airplane mode or leave it in another room. If you're studying, avoid keeping social media open. Small adjustments like these can boost productivity and reduce the temptation to procrastinate. Make the environment inspiring. Think about how your environment can be more inspiring. Put something that motivates you or reminds you of your goals. It could be an inspiring quote, a photo of something you want to achieve, or even a piece of artwork that reflects your purpose. Pay attention to your social environment. Beyond the physical environment, your social environment also has a great influence on your habits. If you're surrounded by people who don't share your goals, it can be harder to stay focused. Instead of being around those who demotivate you, try to connect with people who are on a similar personal growth journey, or at least, who support your goals. Creating an environment that supports your new habit is crucial for ensuring it lasts long term. The environment can either be your ally or your obstacle, so take advantage of the power of your space to reinforce the habits you want to establish. Now you have all the steps to transform your habits and with that your life. Put them into practice and watch the change happen. So here you have it, my friends. Now you know the 7 essential steps to transform your habits and, in turn, your life. Let's quickly recap what we covered. Identify the habit you want to change. If you don't know what to change, it's hard to take the first step. Make the habit small and simple. Don't overwhelm yourself. Start with the basics and gradually evolve. Do the action immediately after the trigger. Create a direct connection between what happens before the habit and the desired behavior. Make the habit enjoyable. The pleasure in doing the activity will ensure you repeat it. Reward yourself. Rewards are essential to keep motivation high. Focus on small victories. Consistency comes from recognizing progress, no matter how small. Create an environment that supports the new habit. Your surroundings can be your biggest ally or obstacle, so make it work in your favor. Now that you know how to transform your habits, it's time to put it all into practice. Remember, change starts with you, and the first step is the most important. If you liked this video and think these tips could help other men change their lives as well, don't forget to leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to stay updated with new content. I'll continue bringing content focused on your personal development. Comment below which step you'll apply first in your life, and let's go on this transformation journey together.